It's Bronwyn Billington here, also known as the Dynamite Doll, and you're watching one of my favorite YouTubers and podcasters, Wom Breezy. Stay dynamite.
So I'm very fortunate to be joined by Missa Kate. Missa, where do we even start? You are known as a Chicago sweetheart. Is that really true?
Well, duh. Can't you tell?
I can. You got that fiery energy about you.
I try. Yeah, I'm really sweet when I kick people in the head. That's my favorite part. I think that's when I'm at my nicest.
So are you Chicago all your life, born and bred?
Yep, born and raised, actually, fully through, not some suburb kid that lies and says that they're from Chicago. Born in the city, raised in the city, hung out around the city, all the fun stuff.
So do you prefer the city life instead of the countryside?
So, yes and no. Like, I think when I get older, maybe, retire, I keep telling everybody, like close friends and family, what we're gonna do. So I found out there's something called a compound. You make like a compound where it's like we each go, we make our own homes, but we have our own neighborhood, and then we're enclosed in. So it's like a super top security place. So that way it's like you're in the country, but you still got your friends and family, like a city feel. Like you have your own bar. Like it's really cool. So yeah, that's my goal. So that way it's like you kind of get a happy medium. But for right now, yeah, I'm a city girl. It gets so quiet in the country. Like it's deafening.
So I live in the countryside, and well, I say the countryside it's countryside, but then it's got like a little town. So I think that's really good, because when I go to my closest city, I'm like, Jesus, get me home. Because it's just busy, and then it's always crammed in, with things. You get like crowded of people, the traffic. I hate the traffic. So you've been in the business 6 years, and you've been NWA, you've appeared in AEW recently against Mina Shikawa.
You know better than I do, yeah.
I'm very terrible with names, honestly. You have no idea. How did it come about you going to AEW?
Well, I had a working relationship with them before I signed to NWA. So we just kind of picked up, I guess, a little bit where we left off after my time with NWA came to an end. So yeah, we've always had a good working relationship. So yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. So I know the actual number. Do you know the actual number? How many times you've fought for AEW?
8 or 9.
Oh, 7.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just a quick little trivia fact there.
Interesting. Do you know all the matches? Ooh. Tables have turned, sir. Hold on, I want to see what I think. Okay, so I'm trying to think in order. So Nyla was my first. And then I had Emmy, Sheeta, Ruby, Mina, Aminata, the tag match. So yeah, 7, yeah.
So okay, then I'll turn something right back on you. How long did you go from your last match to your recent 2 matches? Like how many years?
It had to be at least 2.5 to 3 years, because I was signed with NWA for a little over a year. So I was signed to them technically for 1.5 years, but I was with them for over a year. Or over 2.
You're correct. At 2 and a bit. You're correct. I'll get that one.
I remember some things, not a lot, but there's certain things that stick.
Yeah. So NWA, I mean, when it came out that you was going to be a free agent in July or June, July time, I was shocked, because no one expected it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Missa Kate, free agency come this date. What was the reason? I mean, I've read and watched a podcast that you explained, but I'm not going to get you to like re-explain it again. But for people that don't know, like, on my side, in the UK. What's just like a quick, brief description, like why you decided to leave the NWA and explore free agency?
Long story short, my contract was up, and there's definitely, there's a lot of things I wasn't able to do when I was with the NWA that now I'm able to do. So I want to do that. I want to explore. I want to, be able to wrestle who I want to wrestle. If I want to go to Japan, I want to go to Japan. If I want to wrestle in AEW, I want to wrestle in AEW, TNA, WWE. Like I have those options now. So yeah, that's kind of where it came down to. Like, I mean, as far as I know, no hard feelings. But there's definitely like a little creative frustration where I felt like I had a lot more to offer. And that wasn't able to be, seen. So other than that, like, yeah, I'm free now. I keep telling people.
Yeah, and you've been a free agent for, I want to say 2-3 months now. Is that correct?
Yeah, so July 1st was my first day as a free agent.
You must have had some big offers come through, or offers that you're still, not announced yet, or you're still like doing your own little bit. Is there anything that you can say about that?
I'm in talks with the people. There's just keeping in contact and like just trying to figure out the next move. Trying to figure out where I fit in the wrestling world as of today.
Yeah.
But yeah, like mainly like I said, I'm focusing on certain things that I want to grow as a performer. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's where everybody that I've been speaking with, and whatnot, that's kind of what everyone's like, all right, let's see what you're going to do next. And I was like, all right, give me the ball.
Yeah, because you was tag champs with this young lady, Maddie. Let me try and pronounce that. Maddie.
Maddie Rankowski, yes, now known as Ren St. Clair. Yep.
Yes, you was tag champs. Do you want to guess for how many days? Let's do another little trivia.
For how long we were tag champs? It was over 200 days.
Just under.
Just under, really?
Yeah. Well, it might be 200, but from what I've said, from what I read up, it was like you lost 197 days, but then it's like a TV taping, so I don't know how well that would work.
Okay.
But either way, a long time.
But yeah, we had him for a minute.
So Maddie is now in NXT. Is NXT an option for you? Would you be willing to go there?
Oh, of course. Yeah, like growing up, obviously WWE was the place to be. So NXT, looking at what they got there, and I like that not just WWE but other places also. Like everywhere's just trying to wrestling's hot again. So I appreciate that places are now letting the wrestlers implement their own creative ideas, and I feel like NXT is one of those places. So yeah, I feel like maybe not everybody, but as a worker, as a wrestler, as a performer, it's important for us to give our opinions or to give our insight because we know what we're capable of. So that's really fun for me to see, like people and their ideas and testing them out. And even if they don't work, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board. What can we do? So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can, especially recently with NXT, the performers that we've seen since it became the new era of NXT under Shawn Michaels. They've recently signed Julia. You've got Roxanne Perez, you've got Delta, you've got Stephanie Vaquer. I'm rubbish with names.
Yes.
I feel like it's slowly going back to the black and gold brand. With all these nice independent top names coming in. You've got the Motor City Machine Guns that's rumored to be coming in. You've got Ricky Starks that's floating about around the internet, if he might come. You've also got the Lucha Brothers, who's floating about, but who knows with them two. But definitely the Motor City Machine Guns, they're definitely more than likely confirmed. But I can see it slowly going back to the black and gold brand, and that's what I like. And I could see your character and everything fitting into that. So that is something that I would love to see. But then on the other side, AEW, you fit right in there. So if you could pick AEW or WWE, what would be the goal out of them two?
Hey, Missa K fits in everywhere. She's very diverse, if you can't tell.
Definitely.
Honestly, I'd be happy with both, and I don't want to leave TNA out also, because TNA is another company that I watched growing up. So, at the end of the day, again, I grew up watching WWE. So, and to me, I've always wanted to wrestle at the place that had the most eyes on it, because wrestling at the place with the most eyes on it means you could entertain the most people possible. So yeah, NXT WWE. But that's obviously the end goal, but there's just so much. I don't know. I'll just say it. I'll just keep it like that.
Well, you just mentioned, obviously, that you're talking with people or you've had discussions. I think the end of 2024 going into 2025 can be a big year for Missa K, so that can be interesting and one to watch for sure.
I agree.
I read and I watched, I think, my friend Straight Talk Wrestling's interview that you had. And he mentioned something about a Joker character for the NWA. Is that something that you want to explore? Because you correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't really get the chance to explore that character.
Yeah, so near the end of me being with NWA, there was like a little bit of like teasing it in the last couple matches. You could kind of see Missa so Missa Kate in NWA was I'm here to wrestle chick. And which was great. Like, I love wrestling, but I also am dramatic, if you can't tell. So being able to venture out of just being a wrestler, and just showing that I have more to offer than just in a ring. The Joker character was going to show that and bring that out. So yeah, there's CSW, where I'm currently the women's champion at. There is a little bit of a storyline that at the end of one of the promos, there's a Joker Missa being revealed. So definitely come check that out. You can watch me play around with that character there, or maybe it's not a character and I'm just really being able to be myself, and this right now is fake, Who's really the character? Where's really the character? Who is Missa?
Yeah, interesting.
Always gotta keep guessing.
That's what you got to do, especially in today's world of professional wrestling. It's 2024. Wrestling, like you mentioned earlier, is hotter than it has ever been.
Yep.
And I think that's good for the business. But obviously, the Joker with Missa K, I'm interested in that. I can dig that. That's going to be one to watch.
And I'm excited too. The new Joker movie is coming out, so I'm going to have more inspiration. Yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. My Joker, like I always say, is Heath Ledger. Like, that's my guy. That's my Joker. But yeah, growing up, I was always a fan of the villains more than the superheroes. I would know who the superheroes are because I like the villain. Usually it's the opposite. So, and it's funny, I was such a big fan of the Joker growing up. I dressed up, I remember one year in high school, as a female Joker, like just my version of it. And everyone was calling me Harley Quinn. I was like, who the hell is Harley Quinn? So then I figured out who Harley Quinn was. And then that was a whole different Pandora's box that I opened. So, yeah, I'm a very interesting individual. I see something, I like it, and I study that. And then I kind of, from there, learn other things.
The question is, though, would you reckon to Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn?
I have to see how she does.
Yeah, okay.
I think she's a little nutty. I've seen her performances, I've never live, like just on TV and stuff, or like highlights on social media. So, I mean, and in the commercial and stuff. Again, this is something that I learned again through wrestling, there are a lot of nerds in wrestling, a lot of comic book nerds. So I don't want to say I became one, but like I understand superheroes and what, like I've over quarantine I watched all of Marvel. Okay, so in order, chronological order. So one thing that I learned is that, the multiverse, right? That's kind of what this is to me. This is whatever version of Joker and Harley they are here. It's going to be different than the Joker and Harley from Suicide Squad, which that's the movie I'm looking for. I want to see Margot Robbie and Jared Leto get back together and do that Joker and Harley movie how it was supposed to be done. So that's what I want to see. But other than that, yeah, again, like I was saying, like Heath Ledger was different than who's the original Joker? I can't think of his name right now.
Jack Nicholson.
Yes. They all are different, but at the end of the day, they're all Jokers. So yeah, this is just another layer of Joker. It's just another layer of Harley. And I think they just try to make it a little bit more realistic, which I think will be interesting.
That's true, and I can dig Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn because she's, like you mentioned, she's a bit crazy and she can give that side. But it's like
Best ones are.
Yeah, it's like when they announced Robert Pattinson as Batman, because he's known for the Twilight and stuff like that. They were like, really? Do you know, like, could it be a bad choice and stuff like that? But it turned out to be really good.
I didn't see it yet. I heard he did great though. See, I told you about a superhero person.
How have you not seen it?
I'm not. Hey, if it was a Joker was in it, I would have been seen like 10 times over.
Right, it's coming up to 5:30 as we are recording this. You've still got the Union, so I think you should watch it.
Okay, I gotcha.
Definitely.
I'll put it on my many to dos.
Stop writing it on the hand.
Right.
Definitely. Obviously, we've spoken about you, NWA. You recently had a match with someone who I have had on the podcast, and lucky for you, we all knew it was going to happen. You was very successful in winning. Shazza McKenzie. What was it like being in the ring with Shazza?
So that was technically our second singles ever. Usually her and I are in multi-man matches, either tagging together or against, well, no, I think we usually tagged with each other or maybe just multi-man matches in general. So the first singles match I had with her was more at like I don't want to say fair show, but like that type of vibe where it wasn't like we know wrestling. So it was a different type of match and it was our first time wrestling. So again, it was different. This time around, like I feel like she's grown, I've grown. So overall, like I'm happy with how it went. I won. But yeah, I'm very interested to see because she's now closer to she's in St. Louis, so she's only hours away. So I'm very interested to see more singles between her and I moving forward and what we could come up with. She pushes me, so I appreciate that. And yeah, so just moving forward, I think it'll be a fun time, her and I wrestling against each other.
Definitely. She's a good performer, and like I praised you when you first came on, you're an unbelievable performer yourself.
Thank you.
So CSW, which is your hometown company, what's it like being, well, we all know the Chicago crowd is pretty hectic. They will say it how it is. And if they don't like you, they will make it known.
Yep.
What's it like being a Chicago born and native, obviously having a Chicago company? What's it like representing them?
It's cool. It's fun when I get told by either people that are from Chicago or outside of Chicago that used to live in Chicago or that know nothing about Chicago or that aren't familiar with the city other than like a few things, and they kind of all tell me the same thing, like, oh, you seem like if Chicago was a female, like it would be you. I was like, okay, I'll take that as props. So yeah, it's really cool. And wrestling in the city compared to wrestling anywhere else, yeah, like how you said, we're we're a pretty rare breed where we're very blunt, and a lot of places aren't used to that. So that was an adjustment when I started wrestling other places. And when you're used to a crowd heckling you, and in a certain way, and you have to have thick skin and whatnot. Now you go somewhere else where it's not necessarily that bad, and they don't heckle you the same, but I'm giving out that same energy as I would a Chicago crowd. They kind of get taken back. So it's fun for me, but it's different for them. So yeah, like I grew up here, so I want to represent it. Chicago, they always say Chicago is, for some reason, Chicagoans, we're just so like dire to our city, and it's true. I always tell people we're this weird, dysfunctional family where we will beat the hell out of each other, but the second an outsider comes in, we're gonna tag up against them, because I think like I said, we're just a weird breed. We're a different breed. If you think about it, are the heart of the country. Or smack dab in the middle. We are the ultimate melting pot. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Chicago is one place I've heard about Chicago from being in the UK, that it can be very popular and the people are nice, but then I've also heard some parts of Chicago can be a bit, but that's everywhere you go in it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You just gotta know your surroundings. Same thing like St. Louis, Texas, Florida, California, everywhere. It's just for the most part. Well, no, I can't even say that. It's. I don't know. I don't want. Oh, we were talking about good. Now I'm about to talk shit. No, it has good and bad parts. It's just stuff's changing, and I think giving the state of a lot of mentalities right now and where we are. I don't want to get deep into this conversation, but where we are as a country, and like as far as financially, everything's very we're in an inflation, So I feel like everyone's a little bit more rough around the edges, a little bit more than usual. Everyone's on edge. So
yeah, it's like that in the UK as well. Things going up. You get a pay rise, but then really it's not really a pay rise because you're just paying like extra stuff. So it's like, yeah. That could be another conversation for another day.
Yeah. Positive, good stuff. Me hurting people. Let's talk more about me hurting people.
I'll miss it. Obviously, you mentioned earlier about TNA.
Mhm.
TNA seems to be killing it right now. That's definitely somewhere where you can see yourself, especially with the collaborations with WWE. That's good.
Yeah, especially with the women's roster that they have there. I mean, I feel like Ever right now stacking their women's roster. And there's people at TNA that I'm familiar with, like from when I first started wrestling, but I haven't wrestled them since I become more seasoned or experienced, however you want to say it. And then same thing, AEW, there's people there that I haven't even wrestled yet, or vice versa. But TNA, again, besides WWE, TNA was the other wrestling company that I watched growing up. I came to Beautiful People, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, ODB, Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, just Taylor Wilde, Raven. So like it's just, if I could somehow put my stamp on there a little bit, I think that would be kind of cool.
There's someone else you didn't mention who appeared in TNA the early years, and he's from Chicago.
CM Punk?
Yeah. Are you a big CM Punk fan?
I mean, you always got to support your home people. So yeah, and I know everybody has their own opinions about him, but when he was with AEW and I was working there before NWA, he was always nice to me. I can't say a bad thing about the guy. Anything I saw of him was respectful. So, everyone has their own interactions with everybody. You're always going to get different opinions. So for me, it was cool, of course, being a fan because he's from the city. So we support our homeboy. being a fan of his work and him being entertaining, of course, being on the mic, and me having like a little obsession with his wife. And so, to actually meeting him and knowing like, oh, he's actually a cool guy. So yeah, I'm a fan, and it's cool that I remained a fan even after meeting him.
Yeah. What did you ever have an interaction with Tony Khan?
Yes. I've had a couple interactions with him.
What's he like?
Exactly what you see on TV.
Okay, I dig that.
Yeah.
Is this another company that I'm going to pop up? Is this somewhere that you would like to go?
Of course.
Even though it's owned by Tony Khan. Ring of Honor's got such rich history as well. Maybe we could see you take the title off Athena.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Is that something you'd be down for?
In Chicago, when they come back to Chicago, Ring of Honor.
I see it now.
Right. Yeah, so I didn't really know of Ring of Honor when I started wrestling. I didn't really know of it until later on. Because when I started wrestling, I didn't know anything about the indies. So I'm being educated along the way. So Ring of Honor I kind of learned about year 2, I want to say. So yeah, and then knowing what an importance ROH was to the indies and how that's how people got seen and stuff like that and got called up. And now, like, yes, I've watched Punk's some of his most known matches, or I'm trying to. They're very long, so I have to watch them when I can. So yeah, stuff like that. It's really cool. So if I could get an opportunity on there, that would be fun.
Remember though, you got to watch Batman first.
Yeah. Priorities.
But like I said earlier, just pretty much anywhere that we hope to see you, whether that's NXT, TNA, back to AEW, fingers crossed. You know, pretty much anywhere.
I'll be somewhere. I'll make it happen.
Because you're tag team partners in NXT, and I think you should be there, or even in a big company yourself. But like you mentioned, you've got stuff coming up that you're in the talks with. You know, you can't let slip yet. But, you know, we'll always try and get a little bit out of the people.
You got to keep watching. You got to keep watching, paying attention.
Definitely. What is one thing you are grateful for right now?
Ooh. I'm very grateful for my friends and family that I have that have supported me through this. Maybe not even when I was at my best. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, wrestling's great and I love it. It's my first love. It's always going to be my first love. I'm always going to work as hard as I can. Obviously, I wouldn't be on here. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and trying to progress. But none of that means anything if I don't have my friends and my family.
I respect that. I appreciate that. What is the most rewarding thing of being a professional wrestler?
Getting to meet people, hearing different people's experiences, hearing different people's stories, and I'm very blessed that I have a gift where people like to tell me their life stories. And I kind of always been that way growing up. But so now when I get to travel and I get to hear other people and they feel comfortable enough to sit, just tell me about like really, really emotional things. And I've even had people be like, I've never shared that with anybody. I don't know. I'm sharing this with you right now. And I'm like, I don't know, but that's why it's meant to happen. So to me, that's really cool. And I think a lot of times that's happening. And I think a lot of times people kind of relate to me or they feel like they can because it's part of them that know that I've been through some stuff. So I know where they're coming from and I know how to relate to it. So I think that's the coolest part is meeting other people and then letting them know they're not alone going through stuff. And it gets better.
Yeah, that's very true. So you are, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to have a wild guess here. I checked it up earlier, but my mind, because it's nearly midnight in the UK, I'm kind of a bit droopy. So You are, I want to say 26 or 27. Is that correct?
One more up.
28.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So you've been in the wrestling business for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it works in America with all the school and the education and stuff like that. But what did you do from the age of 18? I want to say 18 because that's what the people finish in the UK. Or 21 in America. What did you do before you started wrestling?
So after high school, graduated at 18, high school, got my associates, which took 2.5 years. And then after I got my associates, I was like, look, I need a break from school because I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I always wanted to be an athlete. So I didn't really care about school until junior year when I was like, oh, I wanted to be a physical therapist. And to get into those programs, you needed a decent GPA. So from junior year up until I got my associates, I was kind of working my ass off in school. On top of that, playing sports and everything. And also around that time, and like a serious moment happened in the family where I was just like, yeah, I need a break, and just kind of wanted to work and also wanted to try wrestling because realizing life's too short, and I don't want to have regrets. I've always wanted to do wrestling, and I didn't know about the indies, and then once I did, I was still kind of skeptical about it. But yeah, so I finally pulled the trigger and did a year of just straight working and training, and then I had my first match. And then after that, I went back to school to get my bachelor's, and I was 2 classes away, and quarantine COVID had to ruin that. So I never officially got my bachelor's. But then, yeah, ever since, I took that as a sign of like, all right, well, I'm just meant to wrestle. So yeah, I always wanted to wrestle. It was just a matter of pulling the trigger and being like, hey, man, like, don't let this opportunity go by you. Don't live with regrets. And I don't regret anything. So, yeah.
Everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Same.
So who was your favorites growing up?
My favorites were John Cena and Lita.
John Cena and Lita, is that where the hair comes from a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah, that I don't know. I kind of like realized I have a thing for redheads, I think. I'm a big fan of I Love Lucy, Lita, Grace from Will and Grace. Like, I'm a fan of these people. So, but I Love Lucy and Lita, or Lucia Ball and Lita, they're both redheads, and I kind of have it in my family slightly. Not redheads, but like a strawberry blonde or something like that.
Freaking Sunset.
Yeah, so it's like that's where this comes from, where I'm like, I feel like that's also me as a person. Like, if you take redhead and a blonde together, and you get Missa Kate. So
yeah, that's true. So recently, I follow you on TikTok, and I think about a month ago or a month and a half, you was at a wedding or some sort of graduation,
yep,
wearing like a red dress or something, or a gown or ball, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And you flexed. Right? no, listen. Right, you flexed, and I was like, Jesus. You mentioned obviously athlete and stuff, and I could obviously speaking to you now. I know you obviously a professional wrestler's got to go to the gym and stuff like that and work out, to keep it up and stuff like that. But how the hell did you get like a good back? That's the question.
So that's my favorite, even growing up. I don't know what it is. I always loved back day. It's just something about, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just always been a free, and I grew up with guys, so like always throwing me around. I've had to like defend, and I don't know, a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm just blessed that I have a jacked back. I wish I had abs that matched it. I'm working on it, but I like food, so I don't know how well that's gonna go. So yeah, I like back day.
Yeah, honestly, I can tell, and I was like, okay, now, Jesus. But yeah, what's a normal gym session for Mr. K like? Like just full on intense.
So I change it up. Right now, like the thing at the end of the day is I try to listen to my body. I'm trying to learn to listen to my body. So right now what I'll do is I'll try to go to the gym, like definitely minimum twice a week to, like, as far as lifting weights. The goal is to do 4, where it's like I'll do legs, upper body, or whatever, 2 legs, 2 upper body. And I do about 3 compound exercises, and maybe like 1 or 2 single muscle exercises. And then on top of that, like PT exercises, whatever. So ultimately, my sets that I do are 2 sets of 20 and then a set of 10. And then that's it. So per exercise, obviously. And obviously, the first 20, like, you want to have a good resistance. I'm not trying to murder myself, but I want a good resistance. And then if I know I could up it, I'm going to up it to the point where I can't get to 20. And then that last 10 is like, all right, I'm just going to try to puff this out. So then that way I get a mixture of high reps and I'm still moving weight. Because otherwise I used to do the whole go in the gym 5 days a week. And that is not good for your body, and it increases the risk of injury. Again, no, this is my anatomy nerdiness coming out that I've learned over the years. So I feel like the exercises that I'm doing now, it's a good happy medium of high reps, not going crazy, but also listening to my body and also doing PT, just to try to keep me going and then I try to, if I can, my schedule's been insane, but if I can, I try to get in 1 hard in-ring cardio day a week.
Good ratio then.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I've started at the gym, but obviously you mentioned abs earlier. It can't happen overnight, even though we wish it could.
Yeah, and that was something that I struggled with, like, when we got back from quarantine, because everything was closed. And I went from being in the gym 5 days a week, wrestling Saturday, Sunday, and or training 3 to 4 times a week. So I was very busybody to not doing anything. So now when gyms opened up and the world opened up, I had the mentality of, I could go back and do all that stuff. And my body's like, no, we can't. Like, it's been almost 2 years. Like, we can't do that. So it took a little bit to find a happy medium. And I think over the past year, because I finally found a good regimen for me that mixed with I'm in a way better mentality. Which there's a quote that said, like, you could eat right, work out right, but if your head's not right, nothing's gonna be right. So I feel like over the past year, like, that's where I've gotten. So
Yeah,
I'm trying I'm trying to find a happy medium, because I like being the muscular chick, but I don't want to be too muscular, and they have the girl mentality of like, but I want to be skinny, but like I want to be a strong skinny. So yeah, I'm trying to find a happy medium.
awesome. So the last couple of questions I have. The question is, though, when are you coming to the UK?
Whenever you guys will have me. I was in talks with, I think, I forgot the company name, but a little less than a year ago. No, more than that, because no, that's why it didn't happen, because I was contracted. But yeah, I was supposed to go there to Canada, and I couldn't go certain places because I couldn't guarantee me going there, because NWA wouldn't have set dates. We would kind of know on a shorter basis, or sometimes they would throw stuff at us randomly. So I would always say, when people were looking to book me, like, hey, we just so you know, because I'm contracted, like, I can't take your date as of now. However, if NWA says, hey, we're going to be here, I'm going to have to cancel. And again, UK is not a cheap flight. Even Canada's not a cheap flight. It's business. So I don't blame people for being like, all right, never mind. Because I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on somebody just to be like, actually, I'm not coming. So, yeah, go ahead, bother people. I'm down. I'm more free time now. I'm not tied down to anybody as of now. So like while we can,
Like what you do.
while we can, if we could please, I want to go there so bad. I've heard good things.
Need to try some fish and chips.
I want to try everything. I want to go out there. Like, if I go, I don't want to just go for like a day or a weekend. Like, no, I want to go for like essentially a tour, I guess you would say, like 2 to 3 weeks, like maximum a month, and just learn everything over there from how you guys wrestle. Because I did a seminar with Saraya, not Paige Saraya, actual Saraya, her mom. One she came to Chicago. I think I did 2 of them, and learning the UK style and stuff like that was really fun. And I just wanted to, it's hard to remember and get used to something in one seminar. I could try to keep it in my head and implement it as much as I can, but unless you're in reps, it's not going to really stick. So that's something that I definitely want to go out there and I want to get some reps in and learn.
I'll speak to you about that after because I've got something I can tell you.
Oh.
So the last 2 questions. So who's your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? You've told me 2. Or do you want to do a complete slate?
No, we can start with those. Trish Stratus, obviously. How many's on a Mount Rushmore? Is it 7?
4.
Oh, wow. I should know this.
You should know this. This is in America.
Yeah, right. Clearly I was great at anyway, so I told you I went for anatomy, man. I went for science, not geography and all that stuff. So yeah, I guess if it had to be, it's so hard. I'll go with Lita, Trish, Cena.
Punk.
It's hard. I was thinking between Punk and Stone Cold.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's hard, man.
I thought you were going to say Colt Cabana.
Huh?
I thought you were going to say Colt Cabana.
Oh, no, I love Cabana. He's a cool guy. Yeah, no, he's funny. I made up his new song. He didn't care for it too much. I sang it we're in at AEW, we're just in the hallway. And I was going, Colt Cabana. He's like, that's not even how you sing my song. I was like, it is not. I was like, that's how I sing it. You should make a remix. I don't think he liked that, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. He's cool.
Who's number 4?
It's hard. It has to be between Punk and Stone Cold.
Who are you picking then?
How do you make that decision?
It's easy. You say one name and then that's who it is.
I'm gonna have to go. I'll
If
go
Punk
with
can
Stone
refuse
Cold because I'll have to go with Stone Cold because if it wasn't for Stone Cold, there wouldn't be a CM Punk.
Okay. I like that. I respect that. Miss Kate, I respect that.
Respect.
You're funny. I always ask these to end the show. What's an inspirational message from Missa Kate, the Chicago sweetheart?
Eat your spinach. No, but just always don't. I'm over here like trying to think of like a deep quote or something, but no, honestly, like at the end of the day, don't worry about what people think about you. Don't worry about, because half the time the people that worry about you don't even worry about themselves. They don't even like themselves. Just we have one life, so live your life and just do it to the best of your ability with your morals. Even if it's hurting people, it's okay sometimes. If it's legally in a ring, that's why I get my anger out in there. But yeah, always strive to be the best version of yourself, even though it's hard sometimes and there's gonna be some cracks in there and there's perfection and imperfection, right? So It's my weird last thing to say, I guess. Just keep trucking. Keep trucking.
You're very funny, Missa Kate. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having
I
me.
really do appreciate it. Big thanks to Derek for
Yes.
linking me and you together. What a guy. He's
Curtain
helped
jerkers.
me a hell of a lot.
Yeah, Derek's a good dude.
Yeah, honestly, without him, there'd be no me and you now. So thank you, Derek. Yeah, I owe him a lot. He's been creating my thumbnails since June, and obviously he's created a good one for you, which is I will show you. Anyway, enough talking. I need to go to bed because it's now midnight.
Yes.
You need to have a good evening and watch Batman. Missa
Yeah.
Kate, the Chicago Sweetheart, Strawberry Blonde, not blonde, Strawberry African Sunset, whatever it is. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So, take it easy.